Introduction to Romans. Author, the Apostle Paul. Date written between AD 56 and 58. Title refers to the addressee of the letter, the church at Rome. Background. Paul is completing his third missionary journey and anticipating a visit to Jerusalem and ultimately his first trip to Rome. Paul writes this letter to introduce himself and to summarize his understanding of the gospel message. Where written, the city of Corinth in Greece. To whom? To the Christians in Rome, both Jewish and Gentile. With over 1 million inhabitants, Rome was the center of one of the greatest empires the world has ever known. Content. The book of Rome is the longest of Paul's 13 New Testament letters. Is an elaborate theological discussion on salvation and doctrine of justification by faith alone. Paul systematically reflects on his gratitude for God's salvation through grace, as law and grace are contrasted, and his determination to make Christ known to man everywhere. God's dealing with Israel is his purpose for the Jews, and his purpose for the Jews are detailed. Righteousness apart from works is further illustrated through the example of Abraham's life in Romans chapter 4. Finally, practical applications concerning Christian duties and ethics are given. Key words: sin, salvation, and faith. Paul clearly explains that broken fellowship with God is a result of sin in our lives, and salvation is available only by faith in the Son of God, Jesus Christ. Themes: everyone is born with a sinful nature, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Romans chapter 3, verse 23. All of us, like Paul, have inner conflicts from the sinful tendencies of our natural man. Salvation is a free gift. Its essence is not S-I-N, but S-O-N, God's Son. Absolutely nothing can separate us from the love of God. Only through the perfect Jesus Christ can we become righteous. Justification is by faith, not by good works. Sanctification is through the indwelling Holy Spirit, not through keeping righteous laws. Everyone trusting in Jesus Christ will be saved and given the ability through the Spirit of God to live victoriously. Divine power for holy living is imparted through the Holy Spirit. Outline. Number 1. Introduction is found in Romans chapter 1, verses 1 through 17. Number 2. All men's guilt as sinners is found in Romans chapter 1, verse 18 through Romans chapter 3, verse 20. Number 3. Salvation available to all by faith is found in Romans chapter 3, verse 21 through Romans chapter 8, verse 39. Number 4. The plan of God for Israel is found in Romans chapter 9, verse 1 through Romans chapter 11, verse 36. Number 5. Christian relationships and attitudes is found in Romans chapter 12, verse 1 through Romans chapter 15, verse 13. And number 6. Final instructions and greetings is found in Romans chapter 15, verse 14 through Romans chapter 16, verse 27. May the Lord add a blessing to the introduction of the book of Romans.